Okay, people. No, I'm not flipping you guys off. But see what happens when you're in oops? All right. Okay. This thing, this table saw bit me. Okay, so I moved it back in here now, but I'll show you why in a minute here. The jig I had, the jig I had for this, I was trying to cut this in there. Go a couple across a couple times, jammed. All right, so I'm sliding it on here like this, and guess what? It was sitting here, right? It went, the metal piece went flying. It's down in here. This thing went flying. It hit me in the gut. I've got a big bruise right here, and I was lucky. I was damn lucky that I didn't have this taken off. Now, I don't know how that managed, but for some reason I just went over the top of the blade, I guess. It nicked it, but it took half my fingernail off, or 2/3 of it. So I've got this little piece left over here. Right now, it doesn't bother me. It's other than being a nuisance. And I didn't break anything. It x-rays and everything, so I'm fine. Except for this actually hurts worse than this. I won't show you my fat stomach, but I think what saved my butt from broken ribs was the fat on my stomach. Okay? Now, that's karma, right? Somebody must have had it out for me. But, okay, don't do this at home. All right? So, smartest thing I could do now from here on out is to put this in a vise and cut them. Whether it be a chainsaw or reciprocating saw. But see, I started grooving it with another saw, a handsaw, and I didn't have it in a vise. And here's what I'm doing next time. I'm going to put this in my steel vise, which I've got to remount on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my reciprocating saw with a long blade. Okay, I'm just saying. I had to say it. I'm not in the mood right now to do any more. I can't do much. I'm right-handed, so I'm kind of down for a couple days anyway. Well, I'll talk tools tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's tool time. Okay, but I wanted to show you what. I wanted to show you real quick what I was doing. Okay, so those. Okay, so this is my first ever cut thing that I've done on my scroll saw. This thing. All right, now my scroll saw, I know it's 100 years old. I know John out there, John has his, what about wood? Yeah, what about wood? I got it, so he went on. Anyway, John says it's not going to enough speed, but it does the job for what I want. But this stuff is pretty thick. All right, it was about a 1/2 inch thick, right? I can't get it cut any closer than that anyway. But what John and those guys are doing is a little bit thinner, probably what, 1/8. And this is still green. That's the other thing. Two things I learned with this. Now, I got this like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I think I used it once to cut some plywood, not plywood, but some veneer. I was using this practice on a veneer. For some reason, I don't know, I set it off to the side, never used it, right? So now, oh yeah, the reason this is off is because I got to drill holes in this. No, I didn't break the blade, John. I broke the other blade that was on it originally, so I had to get a new hose because the hose I had, I just touched it, it broke off. So anyway, read the instructions. The biggest problem I had, John, was hooking this up into here. All right, it was just, I couldn't get it to stay in there. And then there's this adjustment here to tighten it up, right? Well, of course, I didn't read. Here's another one of those where I have an oops moment. I didn't read the instructions well enough or good enough, and I haven't seen that manual laying around here for years, so I don't know where it's at. I finally figured out how to do it. And as far as speed, it's variable speed. It's great. It's on off. I actually don't have a problem with it. I got to learn how to turn it. The biggest problem I have, and this is the God's honest truth, is seeing what I'm cutting. I don't have a light. I was using this, but you almost need a light that's above here, that's connected to this or something to see where you're cutting. Because when I'm cutting, I can't see squat. Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd show you guys this. I'm kind of proud of that thing. It's not much, but it took me a while to figure it out. You know, this is what you're going to be hanging on a Christmas tree. That's what I'm going to be hanging on a Christmas tree. My first ornament. And no, it's not for sale. I'll make another one. No, that one I'm safer on because of that thing at me. But see, now that's happened to me twice. That it never happened to me on that. First time that's happened on that one, but I had another one where I went, and it was because I was being stupid. Okay? Always, whatever it is, if you're going to do something on like that, make sure it's a jig. Don't put wet wood on there. I'm going to start writing all these don't do's for a shop. It's happened to me enough times, I know. Been in the trades all my life, so I know. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go because I'm going to go upstairs and watch TV. I'm not in the mood to do anything tonight, so maybe tomorrow something. I'm going to do tool time. I can't do much now, so. And no, I'm not flirting you off. Although I could get away with it, huh?